Hello, folks. Good afternoon, and welcome to another session here in XM Live Education. That is the beginner's room. My name is Stanislav Kolev. I'll be your trading expert in the following 1 hour. Looking forward to your questions, trade setups, ideas, instruments. Let's have this session, as always, as an open discussion and talk about the upcoming market opportunities, but also talk about technical indicators because we got the indicators masterclass in the following 1 hour. And I'm going to present you an idea of complete trading algorithm, or actually, it's not an expert advisor yet, but it's going to become one, and a complete trading system constructed of three completely independent indicators that I'm going to share the names, of course, in the chart, so you will be able to find and download from the internet. They're absolutely available to to download. Actually, everything that I share here, okay, most things that I share here are available for you to download freely on the web, and those are the following. So the idea is coming from um, an indicator that I have in my daily system of indicators. And this is right. You guessed it right. This is the Hawkeye volume indicator that you could see down below this structure low, and how Hawkeye, excuse me, um, indicator is used in this particular trading system. We don't touch the settings. You need just historical bars. So you just find it by saying Hawk I volume. This is the name of the first indicator. The second indicator, it is the RSI. You don't have to download it from anywhere and any spot. You just go on insert indicators, oscillator, RSI, click it, and it's gonna appear. We're going to start with the period of 10, and also the next indicator, the third indicator, it is the sessions indicator. This one you could get it from the MetaTrader marketplace. You go here in markets, you go here in markets, you write down MT4 sessions indicator. Let me write down the name of it. Just one moment. MT4 sessions indicator is technical indicator version 1.1, author part-time day trader. It's not a full-time trader. So, and RSI. So the logic here is the following. Because most of the time the market is on a bullish trend, on an upswings, we want most of the time to be buying equities. And we not only want to buy equities, but we want to buy equities and we want to buy the Nasdaq whenever the RSI gets to period of 10, which means that it is oversold. Whenever we see volume from the volume indicator in our direction, in this case is green, so we're going to remove all of the red colors because we would not need them at all. So we remove this, we put the lime green, maybe a little fat color, and click OK. Yeah, not that fat. Not that fat, and actually make it green. Let's make it 4 so we see distance in between the bars. That's right. And also we want to execute positions in every session except the Asian session. That's why you need the multi-session indicator. So in this, we will have the European session start from 9 up until and the US session starting at 3:30, the Asian session start at 0 time. You don't want to trade in the Asian session, which is orange colors. You want to trade only in blue, which is European, and green, which is the US session. Good afternoon to my man and my friend Ioannis Makri. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always appreciating your presence, comments, and impact on those sessions because it is really here. Thank you so much. What are you up to? How was your weekend? How is life? How is trading? I'm just going to turn off alerts for this and I'm going to explain in a test how we are going to do this. There is also probability that if I just remove this, but in the case that we execute a signal before, I want to still be part of it. Okay, so I'm going to, this is the NASDAQ. I'm going to start from the beginning of 2023. You could see it. 2023 beginning. This is where we're going to start backtest it. Now, the first thing that we look at is the RSI. We want to be oversold. This is the period of 10. This is where it is oversold. Then the second thing we look at, it is whether we're in green or blue session, aka European or US session. And the number, actually the last thing we're going to use is the moment that we see green volume going up, this is going to be our entry signal. So in this particular case, just to give you the first example and you let me know whether this is clear, Ioannis and of course everybody else that is in this session, you got oversold. Okay, you're in the US session. All right, you want to see green color. So at the end of this candle, you are a buyer. You put stop below the low, 75 pip, and you get to 180. So I'm currently going to backtest it with 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And as soon as the expert advisor is being created, because this is going to be invested into one, we are um, going to run a detailed backtest to see what is the best risk to reward ratio on historical data. Right. So yeah, that's it. This is the first signal, and let's go for the next one. You have an oversold 19.48. You're in the European session, you see green color, and look at this. From 15, you get to 74. Absolute beast. There is also going to be an option for protecting the stop loss too, etc. Then you go into the US session and look what's happening. You have an oversold, you have US session, you have this candle. Now let's see the distance. It is 5-7. So that is actually a very painful loss. I will be marking, if you go on objects, I will be marking the profits with vertical line and the losses with a rectangle. So let me delete actually the labels, that is the NASDAQ, so they don't overlap with our calculations. Please let me know if this is clear so far. So we scan another oversold. No, another oversold. Yes, down here. Down here. So this is where the buy signal happens. 20. This is a losing trade in the next day. Then in the US session is nothing. Then you got um, there was something. Yes, there was something. As soon as you get a stop loss, as soon as you get a stop loss, but then you get the divergence on the RSI. You look to trade the next setup, right? So here you got a divergence. You have a lower lows on the main chart and higher lows on the RSI. So the next signal is tradable. This was as per my early backtest, and this is where the signal is. Then you go to the US session. You have nothing. I will also be combining this with climactic move and a couple of other ideas I have with the Hawkeye, and I think it could be a very nice, useful thing. Right. Okay, we move on to the next day. Next day, European session, this is the buy signal, stop below the low, 21. You get to 75, guys. You get to 75, you mark it up. In the US session, you have no signal. There probably have been some sell, but we don't want to be sellers. In the Asia session, we do nothing. Then we go to the next oversold territory. Oversold territory, oversold, oversold, oversold. This is the buy signal. Buy signal, 34, you get to 78, you mark this with green color, and we are moving to the next signal. Next signal is the oversold. Oversold, is it here? 20.02. I wish it was, but it was not. It was not. You have an oversold in the Asia session. You have an oversold in the European session. Is the volume enough? Volume is not enough. And when volume is enough, right, is here, 34, you get to the money, and you get to 49. We mark it with, is this the candle? No, it's the next candle. And yes, this is where signal is. Taka, you get to the US session, you almost get it. Almost is not a yes. Then you go and look for the next oversold. There will be days that you don't get signals for a very long time. Also something else that I was thinking, if you see an oversold in the Asian session and you got a you got a signal on the US session that is not higher than this, for you to also place an entry. But it's still under consideration. I'm not sure I want to engage too much the Asian session. That's why let's leave it for now. It is for future development. Now let's leave it blank. So you have an oversold in this session, and you gotta buy. This is actually, look at this. Oversold, we're not far away from this. And the buy, Hawkeye settings default settings. Yes, sir. Here I have a little problem that I want to buy this. Okay, let us leave it for now, and we're gonna do it later on. You got an oversold with a long, so you instantly get barbecued. You got a long here, so you got two consecutive losses. I suppose there is some news here, and we will not be doing during the news, but we don't know yet. So I'm going to be marking everything. And the next signal, which is also here in the US Open, it is also a loss. So we have just jeopardized all of the profits. Let us delete this and delete this trend line. We just, no, not indicator, object list. We almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have three consecutive losers here, and you jeopardize all of the profits with just 1 day and a session. And this is going to be avoided because this is definitely news trading at 3:30. But we don't know that yet. So you have the next signal, which is before the market close, which is another loss. And loss is a loss. And you have the next day, European session, you open with a profit. Then you look for the next RSI. Next RSI is here, buy is here. What's this? 9, 8, 9. I'm gonna call this a break-even trade. Then you have a signal in the Asian session, which we don't do. Then you have the European session. Then you gotta buy. Then you have here Do we have the volume? Oh, it's not there yet.